Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody getting a good mic check. 1, 2, 3, mic check, mic check. How's it sound here? Carrie, you getting mic? Is it good? Audio level's good? Everybody's level's good? Hey, do you hear me? You're going to talk to Carrie's going to be on the earpiece. You're going to talk to her and tell her when she's hot and not for this news conference. You guys need an audio check from the X. Oh, now you're telling me. Where's the bus crash?
Doesn't matter which side? It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. You're the boss.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's press conference to introduce our new general manager, Bill Guerin. Thanks to the media in attendance, and special thanks to the fans watching online today on Wild.com, Fox Sports North, KFan, and NHL Network. We appreciate your interest. After brief comments from Mr. Leopold and Mr. Guerin, we will open things up to questions from the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We have a mic that we will bring to you for the question so we can hear it. And please state your name and affiliation so we know who we're talking with. And following the conclusion of the press conference, Craig, Bill, and Mike Madonna is here too. Will be available for one-on-one interviews, and we will have lunch as well. So I will now turn things over to owner Craig Leopold. Craig?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome. Beautiful day. State Fair is opening up, and we start a new era. So we are incredibly excited about this day. You know, my entire career in hockey, I always wanted the likes of Billy Guerin and Mike Madonna on my team, and I finally got it. But frankly, I would have liked to, when you guys were players, would have been okay as well. But This is just an exciting time for our franchise. We have a lot to look forward to. A lot of good things are ahead of us. It's been a really, really interesting process. We had 12 interviews, busy time. Almost every day in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we were talking with people. We were vetting candidates. Matt Maka and Mike Madano and I were heavily into this process. It was frankly a time we learned a lot about our team. We learned a lot about our systems. We learned a lot about our market, which frankly we already knew. And what we learned is that all the candidates that came in it was all about St. Paul and the state of hockey. So this is a market that people want to come to. And there's a lot of things in this process that you learn about our team. And it just makes you feel good that we're all here. We are really very, very fortunate that we have a leader that is coming here that is a real pedigree in hockey. And, I think it speaks volumes. We've got a row filled with players in the back. And, all you guys, thank you very much for coming out. This is a cool way to support, the new direction that we're going in. And it means a lot. I'm sure you will all get to know Billy. Everybody's got a story about Billy for either the first time they met him on the ice or there's a story behind that bark, okay? And we will talk about that. But it is okay, let's bring him in here. If I announce all the players, we have another new employee. His name is Breezer, and this is Breezer. Breezer is our newest employee, frankly, our most popular employee. And here he is. He's our dog for the next year. And after that, he becomes a comfort dog for a veteran with PTSD. So we have him for a year. Matt Maka drives him home and brings him back in the morning. He has his own office space. People sign up to take him for a walk. He is so tired at the end of the day. Billy, I know this is about you today, but this is it's not often you get introduced to your newest employee. At the end of the day, he is so exhausted. You're going to feel the same way. That Matt Maka has to pick him up and carry him to his car because people are just dying to take him for a walk. So everybody, this is Breezer. We're proud to have him on our team, and he's just a great addition to our organization and frankly our culture. He kind of fits in really well with the direction we're going. He's scratching his. Well, what's he scratching? Okay, we're good. Okay. All right, back on. I got a little ADD. Back on mission here. When Mike and Matt and I were going through the process and interviewing with Billy, there's just immediately a couple things that we noticed right away. One is his leadership. One is his presence. He's a person that he loves the game. He's the kind of guy that Bruce Boudreau and he will get in a room and they'll just talk hockey. I mean, I'd love to just be in a corner and listen to what they talk about. So, I think we really have a person who is a winner. And 4 Stanley Cups is not an easy thing to do. But all we really care about is his 5th Stanley Cup that he's going to win. And he wants to win that 5th one. He wants to win one as a general manager that pulls the team together. So as we're going through the process, there's the last question that we asked every candidate that came through. And the question was, why do you want to come here as a general manager of the Minnesota Wild? And I think that was his answer was the answer that finally just kind of did it for all 3 of us. And it was, why wouldn't anybody want to be here? This is an incredible market, incredible fans, a wonderful culture. This is a team that can win. This is a team that can make the playoffs. There's been a lot of chatter in our market, and anybody can say and write anything they want to say. But as we went through this process, we learned a lot about our team, and Billy clearly did a lot of work on our players and our system, and he's excited about the team. So he's a guy, you could just feel the passion for coming into this market and being the general manager. So that's why we went with Billy. The more you get to know him, he was not only a terrific player, but obviously an unbelievable leader, and right now that's perfect for what we're looking for. So with that, I would like to present Bill a jersey. Yeah, you did. Good. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Fantastic. Ju.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig, for all the kind words. First of all, I want to thank my family. Everybody's up here in the front row. You wouldn't believe what it took to get everybody here. It was planes, trains, automobiles. I guess the story's for another day, but we had our youngest, Lexi, fly in from Scotland. Delays. Karen Grace had a flight canceled last night, and they just got here this morning. Liam and Kayla they had the easiest day, but they drove 5 hours back home, dropped their stuff off, went to the airport, jumped on a plane, and got here at 10 last night. So I've got an incredibly amazing support staff at home, starting with my wife, Kara. And I played on 8 teams, and she's been there every step of the way. And when the kids came along and I stopped playing, I started, committing myself to life after hockey. And, I've been away for a lot of weekends, and I worked hard, and I missed some stuff. And they were always incredibly supportive of me. And that makes this day so special. So thank you to my family for everything that you guys have done for me. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you to Craig for having the confidence to give me this incredible opportunity, to Matt Maka for making the interview process so enjoyable. 2 very easy guys to talk to, great, fair questions. The interviews were actually, the easy part. The waiting was the hard part. Craig wanted to go on vacation, so we had to stick it out for a week, but fantastic, and I'm excited to be a part of this group. To my old friend Mike Madonna, to have Mike involved in this process was very special. Mike and I go back to the World Juniors in 1989 up in Anchorage, Alaska, and we've been good friends and teammates since then. And to have Mike in the mix here means a lot to me. I'd like to thank Bruce and some of the other coaches for being here today, and the players. I really do appreciate the support. I'm really looking forward to getting going here. We've got a lot of work to do, but there's a ton of potential, and I'm extremely excited to get to work with all of you guys. I would like to say heartfelt thank you to Mario Lemieux, Ron Burkle, David Morehouse, Jim Rutherford, and the many other people that I've worked with for the last few years for the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's so many others: Jason Kermanos, Eric Heasley, The entire hockey ops staff, our scouting staff, everybody's been incredibly supportive of me over the last years, teaching me how this world works. So, and a special thank you to Ray Shiro for giving me my start, for having me the confidence in me and telling me that his worst nightmare is a former player who wants a title, a paycheck, and an office and doesn't want to work. So he scared me. And everybody back in Pittsburgh, who over the last 10 years have supported me and my family, extremely grateful. It's been a great ride. I've learned a lot. We've won a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Now, I'm extremely excited to be in the state of hockey. This is an incredible opportunity for anybody, and I'm very fortunate to be sitting up here. The question that Craig asked last, that he mentioned earlier, why do you want this job? Over the interview process, I thought that was a question that hit me. And when he asked it, it was an honest answer of who wouldn't want this job? There's everything here to win. Everything. I've seen it as a player. I've seen it in management, what it takes to build a winner, what it takes to be on a winner, and everything is here. Everything's in place. We have a committed owner. We have a great fan base here that's knowledgeable and passionate. The building's full. The environment's great. We have an incredible staff. We have a great coaching staff, scouting staff, hockey ops, and we have a good team. This is a good team. My job is to make it better, or we're going to build. I've learned a lot over the last few years. I've worked under 3 great general managers, Ray Shiro, Jason Botterill, and Jim Rutherford, who's a Hall of Famer. Extremely lucky to have been able to do that. I've learned what it takes to build a winning culture and a winning team. And you don't win in this league unless the team comes first. We're going to put an emphasis on character, on commitment, and on sacrifice. What are you going to do for this team to help it win? I'll bring what I've learned over the last 10 years to the Minnesota Wild. I'm really looking forward to getting going in the state of hockey. We have a ton of work to do, but it's going to be a ton of fun, and I can't wait to get going. Thanks.
We'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hand and we'll get you a mic. Dane, you want to go first?
Dane Mizutani, St. Paul Pioneer Press. This is loud. Bill, you talked about just feeling that you have a good team. Just what gives you the confidence that this core can get over the top, and what is it going to take to get it over the hump?
Well, I was just in the office with Tom Curvis and Chris O'Hearn, and we were just chatting casually and looking at the board. And, you take a step back and you look at the names, and there are good players. We have a lot of good hockey players. And I think if you look at the past 10 years of what's gone on in Minnesota, they're consistently a playoff team. We missed last year. But that happens to the best of teams. I think it's most important how we're gonna move forward from that. But there are a lot of really good players up on that board. We've got a coach that's won a ton of games. We've got Stanley Cup winners. We've got guys that have been around this league a long time, and I'm confident that this group is going to bounce back.
Bill, Jim Rich, Fox 9 Sports here in the Twin Cities. You've been the right-hand man, but now you're going to be the man. what have you observed from other men that have had this position, and what is the biggest step, what is the biggest hurdle that you need to overcome to become the general manager versus just an assistant general manager?
Well, you know what? I think first things first is that you have to have great people around you. And I believe I've come into an incredibly good situation. I've done my homework on all of our staff members, amateur scouts, pro scouts, assistant general managers, everybody. And you're only as good as your staff. And my job is to hold everybody accountable, but also give them a voice, listen to them, take their advice, and then I have to be the decision maker. But I'm confident. You know what? Like I said, for the past 5 years, I've been with a Hall of Fame GM, and a GM that honestly taught me a great lesson. It was sitting right over at the St. Paul Grill, and he always said, "You know what? Just always try to make a fair deal. This is a relationship business. Treat your peers with respect and make fair deals." And nobody's better at it than Jim Rutherford. I mean, I think he's made 40 some odd trades since he's been in Pittsburgh, but he just keeps trying to improve the team, and that's what I'm going to do.
Bill, Joe Schmidt, Channel 5, Channel 45. You were an elite player, a Hall of Fame player. How much is that going to help you in the front office role, or is there any chance it might hinder you because your expectations are so high for the players?
Well, to be honest with you, I hope my playing experience can help players. I feel like over 18 years and 1,200 games or whatever it was, I've seen a lot, and I played on 8 teams, so I've seen a lot. I've been in a lot of situations, so I feel like I can empathize with what players are going through if things are tough. So I think it can only help. You know, I've got a lot of experience in that stuff. So, you know, and it's funny, but like players, coaches, teams, there's a lot of ups and downs in the season, and I hope to be a solid foundation for everybody. I have to be at my best if things are at their worst.
Bill, Jesse Pierce with NHL.com. What else do you think needs to be accomplished this offseason?
Well, right now, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I just got here yesterday, so my first, the thing I'd like to do first is just kind of get together with everybody, get to know my staff better, and evaluate. I have to evaluate what's been going on here. Get a lot of people's opinions and then move forward. Like I said, our staff is in place, our coaches are in place, our players are in place. So I guess the timing is odd, but it's not bad. I need to take the time to get to know what's going on, and then I'll have to make adjustments as we move along.
Bill, Jess Myers with the Rink Live. You're one of 12 NHL general managers now who have college hockey experience. What is you taking this job, and guys like Jason Botterill that you mentioned, what does that say about the growing influence of college hockey in the NHL?
I think it's a great avenue. It's a great path for players. Specifically talking on the hockey side of it, because we have an 18-year-old draft, and if you're going to college, the way it goes now is you might have to play a year or two at junior, then you go to college, so you have time, and it gives players a time to mature physically, mentally, emotionally, socially. This is a hard life, and it's competitive, it's demanding, and not everybody's ready for it at 18. So I think, it depends on the individual, but I think college hockey is a terrific way to go.
Pat Borsey with MinPost.com. You mentioned before that there's going to be an emphasis on character, commitment, and sacrifice. That's probably easier to do when you're still playing, when you can be in the room, when you can be in the hotel with the guys, when you can be on the plane. How do you go about establishing that when you can't be in any of those places very much?
No, I think that stands for the entire organization. Whether you're a player with 1,000 games, whether you're a trainer, a scout, a general manager, I want people with character, high character. I want people that are going to be committed to this team. And if you're going to be successful in anything, you've got to sacrifice. Somewhere along the line, you have to sacrifice. And that's the only way we're going to get it done. And when I mean as a whole, I mean as a whole. Like, this is an organization-wide philosophy. And not just the players on the ice. This goes for everybody.
Bill, Dave Campbell, Associated Press. What's the most important thing you learned about the management side of this job with the Penguins in your transitioning away from the ice?
Well, most important thing? Oh, man. This is a relationship business. Like I said, you have to surround yourself with great people, smart people, people that are willing to work and do the things necessary to be successful.
Bill, Dane Musitani with the Pioneer Press again. You mentioned relationships. Do you get the sense that you'll have to repair any relationships that might have been frayed under the old regime?
No, not at all. I've known many of these guys for years and years and years. They're all good people. I've seen them around the rinks for years, and no, I'm fully confident that I have the support of these guys. I'm going to support them. I trust them. They're going to trust me, and I have no issues.
Any other questions? Rachel?
Rachel Blount, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. For both Craig and Bill, could you take us through the process? When was the first phone call made? Bill, what were your first thoughts when Craig called you? How long did the whole thing take? Any stories that you can tell us as things played out?
My throat is dry from talking so much, so maybe I'll answer this one first. Rachel, it started immediately, right away. Maybe even the first phone call we made was to get approval from Pittsburgh to talk with Billy, and they were gracious. Immediately said yes, you have permission. I think they obviously expected it. And my guess is it started with a phone interview, and then we did an interview in Racine, Wisconsin, and then we had another interview last Thursday with him here, right? So that was kind of the timeline process for when it happened. Stories, I don't know.
No,
I'm sure there's something good.
I thought it was a pretty smooth interview process. I was fortunate enough to meet Craig back in was it the 04-05 lockout. Craig was on the obviously on the owner's side. I was on the NHLPA negotiating committee. So we had met years and years ago, and so when they called last year. And I came in for an interview last year. I was comfortable. I knew Craig was a good guy and easy to talk to. And so this year coming in, I knew a little bit more what to expect. I was always comfortable. And like I said, the interview part was enjoyable because of the questions they asked. Just the whole process of it, I enjoyed it. The hard part was waiting, and I was sitting in my home office the other day with Kara and Grace, and I was just sitting, honest to God, I was sitting there looking out the window. I turned around and I said, I'm more nervous now than I was in Game 7 against Detroit in 2009. And because Craig called at 12 Eastern and said, can you talk at 3:30? Like, 3:30? Honest to God. So that was the hardest part. Yeah.
Jess, go ahead.
Bill, Jess Myers from the Rink Live again. You were the part of the home team here during the World Cup 15 years ago or so, but you played a lot of games here as an opposing player. What was the atmosphere like to play in Minnesota?
Oh, it's great. Phenomenal building, passionate fans. It's full. I mean, you know, they just love it, and they know what's going on. And you know, you're not fooling anybody here. But it was always a great atmosphere to play in. Always enjoyed it. Always liked going down to Tom Reed's for a couple beers after.
Any other questions? Joe?
Obviously now there's a lot of analytics in hockey. What are your thoughts on analytics and how is it going to go into your game plan here?
I think it's great. I support it. I'm all in with it. I don't know. I can't do the reports myself. That takes another skill set. I'm a hockey guy, but we have extremely bright people that focus in on that, and it's another way to look at what's going on. It's another way to look at players. It's purely the numbers, and you take somebody that's an expert in the numbers, and you take people that are experts in the hockey, and they give you all the information you can. The more information you can have, the better, and then you can make your decisions. But, you know, we were extremely big on it in Pittsburgh, not just with not with pro stuff, but with the amateur stuff. And, yeah, I support it.
Any other questions? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good.
Appreciate
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
attendance, and we'll be doing some one-on-one interviews now, too. Thank you.
Good job. Thanks.